God, that is hot. I don't want the internet to bully me anymore. I just want a wide receiver. And he's gonna run it deep out of the end zone here. And he breaks free! They beat the Dallas Cowboys! The collusion is real.
Jimmy just stepped out. He stepped up back in the end zone. He threw a pick. Oh my God.
He still messed it up.
Oh, we still here.
It's caught! It's a touchdown! Card!
Please not Jameson, please.
No! Yes! There's cars everywhere! It's so bright.
We raised $101,000.
We have hit 400K! Touchdown! Jordan Love and Christian Watson! Aaron Rodgers has just announced that he is going to the New York Jets.
It's frickin' frackin' time.
Grossi Posse Packers! Nation, welcome to an episode of Podcast, a podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. It's freaking frackin' roster cut down day, Grossi. Woo! We did it. Ladies and gentlemen, we here. It's actual freaking frackin' football. We've made it. We have arrived. It's roster cut down day, which is always a sad day. It's always a sad day because you're seeing all these guys who worked incredibly hard. They get cut, they get moved, but it seems a whole lot of them got traded this year. Whether you're a kicker and you got traded over there, and the Titans now got Nick Folk, the Saints are trading away everybody, the freaking Patriots, they don't got no quarterback except Mac Jones. Yeah, it's Allen, there you go. Just what's Bill cooking? I don't know. I don't know what he is cooking. But we're here, we're gonna break it down because there's some surprises. There's some really good surprises too. For example, like Emmanuel Wilson making the 53-man roster. A reminder before we break down anything, we'll go through the offense, we'll go through the defense, who released, etc. This is just the initial 53-man roster. Starting tomorrow morning, I think it's at noon Eastern, they could start making waiver moves. They're going to start moving guys to the practice squad, etc., etc., etc. So we still got some time to go. The Packers are number 15 on the waiver priority, so just to let you know. KK Retour, emergency alert effect sound. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I can do it. Come on, 3 years. Let's go, baby. College football. Less than 2 weeks for football. Let's go, baby. Joseph, our good God, Tom. Where do you hold all that air? My butt. Pineapple Terror, Royce Newman is still on the team. Yes, he is. Royce Newman, he's still on the Green Bay Packers initially. So, Gil, appreciate you. And Ron getting the membership. Let's go, baby. All right, let's go. That's the wrong one. Hold on. Oh, I got to do it this way. Damn it. Okay. All right, here we go. It always switches it up on me. Okay, so here we go. So, no big surprise here. I know that there was some Alex Magoo lovers and stands out there, but no, that's not the case. We're sticking with 2 QBs. You got, of course, Sean Clifford. It was announced a few days ago that he was going to be the primary backup. And then, of course, you have Jordan Love, who is going to be QB1, the starter. This is the one that I'm super excited about and also a little surprised. So the Packers are keeping 3 running backs. That's not the surprising part. It makes sense that they're keeping 3. Of course, you're going to have Aaron Jones. Of course, you're going to have A.J. Dillon. But a lot of people thought it was going to be Patrick Taylor who was going to remain on the initial 53 just because of how good he is as a special teamer. But instead, they wound up releasing Patrick Taylor. I imagine they're going to hopefully get him back on the P squad. But instead, the breakout from the preseason, Emmanuel Wilson, has made the initial 53-man roster. We were all concerned about, okay, yeah, he can run really, really well, as he's demonstrated in the past 3 games, but how can he pass block? And he demonstrated a little bit of that in last week's game, so that's a good thing. Gubs! W's for the intro in football. Hell yeah. Let's go, baby. Let's go. So I'm super duper happy for Emmanuel Wilson. His story is absolutely incredible. And now he's made it to the 53-man roster. This is a guy who 1,000,000% earned the spot, and he just played into a 53-man roster spot. So I'm super happy about that. Jordan! It's here since week 8. So amazing. Appreciate you, buddy. The Jordan, just get ready, baby. You ain't ready for this season. Garrett, thanks for the $5. ADF went to her. Season number 4. Let's go. Darren, don't know what the Saints are doing. I trust, but some of the moves are weird. Yeah, the Saints made a lot of weird moves today. There were some that were off, to say the least. But that's your running backs here. And then with wide receiver, lots of people expecting that they're going to keep 7. Instead, they rolled with 6. And another preseason stud, Malik Heath. My God, that man was blocking. That man was catching just about everything thrown to him. He has made the roster. Of course, you have no surprises like Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs. Toure was a potential surprise cut candidate, but I mean, it's just weird because they talk him up so much. The coaching staff talk about how much they love him, so he winds up making it. The only one that's a little bit surprising here might be Garrett DeBow, in which that there was a lot of hype around him. But instead of keeping 7, they roll with 6. I think that this is a very good and talented, though very young, wide receiver core. Of course, you have Christian Watson, who's going to be number 1, but then you're going to have Romeo Dobbs as close number 2. And then I'd imagine you're going to have Reed there as number 3, and then they're going to kind of see who's going to step up throughout the season. Then over here at tight end, of course, you got DeGuara, who's going to stay on. Then you have Tucker Kraft, who... a lot of the reports coming out have not been really great. Saw some of his practice too, saw some of his game tape, and really didn't look that great. He's a raw prospect. Now, the bigger surprise, not that he's made the 53-man roster by any shot, but Luke Musgrave really has just been everywhere. He's been doing end arounds. He's been running just about every route that you can. He's been blocking. So, Luke Musgrave, I'm very excited for him. We talked about not to get too hyped up about rookie tight ends because they usually don't make a big splash, but I think Luke Musgrave is going to have an opportunity to. Jake, thank you for the tenor. Roberto, fins up, love the content, buddy. Feel better soon, my friend. Ray Whittorp, Tommyism forever. Tommyism forever. Then offensive lineman, I know a lot of people saw Royce Newman still making the squad there. Nothing that's really super surprising here. They kept 11 offensive linemen. Tenuta was a potential cut guy, but they rocked with him. Other than that, no real surprises. Defensive line, they kept 6. This guy, Colby Wooden, oh boy. Yeah, he looks like he's had a night. Carl Brooks has been looking pretty good too. Of course, you have Kenny and of course TJ Slayton. This one, they decided to keep 6 outside linebackers, which Brenton Cox Jr., it was found out about an hour or 2 ago that he was going to be staying on the 53-man roster, at least the initial one. And then you have Justin Hollins, who also stayed on it as well. And this is kind of like a big point that they're hoping, the Packers are hoping, that this group, this squad is going to be able to get after the quarterback. And there's some potential there. Now, when we're talking about guys like Lucas Van Ness, who overall has had a very, very quiet preseason, I imagine he's just very raw. They're going to need to mold him kind of like they did with Rashawn Gary, because I think the athleticism is there, but you need to teach the technique and more than just like, hey, I'm going to run at the quarterback as hard and fast as I can. So that one was interesting. Inside linebacker, yep, Tariq Carpenter got moved there to inside linebacker. Isaiah McDuffie, of course, Vondre Campbell and Quay Walker, no surprises there. CB, so on the PUP list is Eric Stokes. So what that means is he is not going to be able to play for at least the first 4 weeks of the season. There's been lots of questions about Eric Stokes. Even like guys like Jair and Rasul have talked about wanting him to get back on the field. But I mean, the Packers have kind of been a little quiet about the extent of his injury. You just hope that he returns as soon as possible. And the good thing is, and of course, like he returned to practice 11 on 11, is that Rashawn Gary, I mean, when I went to practice, the dude was doing sprints on the sideline. He was looking pretty good. There's a little bit of a limp, but then he was back on 11 on 11. So that's good news there. But here are corners, so only keeping 4 corners here. So a little surprising, again, Stokes on the PUP list, but Keyshawn Nixon, who counts there, and of course is going to be our return guy. You got Jair, you got Rasul, and you got Carrington Valentine, who has been an absolute stud this preseason. So, yeah, very, very excited about Carrington Valentine. Some Samar Jean Charles. So this one was a little surprising because he's so good on special teams. But Carrington Valentine, I imagine, is going to then get those reps because he just proved that he needed to be on the field. I mean, there was even talks about moving Rasul Douglas to safety, but I don't really know the extent of how true that's going to be. Rasul was trolling a little bit afterwards. So yeah, Carrington Valentine, super excited that he is going to be on this list. And again, we still can turn around and re-sign these guys to the P squad starting tomorrow. Then safety, of course, you got Levitt, you got Rudy Ford, Darnell Savage, Jonathan Owens, and Anthony Johnson Jr. Tavares Morgan went on to IR. Benny Sapp, who was the hero who basically won the game for the Packers against the Seahawks, he got released earlier. And yeah, so the safety core is probably one of the weaker parts of this Packers defense, but you got to hope that if that pass rush is really good, and of course our corners are as good as they're supposed to be, which they're supposed to be really, really good, we'll be able to get out of that. Now, the one thing that they didn't do, and there's a reason that they did this, so they technically, on the initial 53, they do not have a long snapper. They released their long snappers, but they're going to wind up re-signing them tomorrow, so that's going to be on Wednesday. So right now, you just have 2 special teamers. They're going to bring back Matt tomorrow. Pat O'Donnell, he was cut earlier. Whelan taking his spot because he's just going to cost less money, and he's a lot younger, so that makes a lot of sense. Heath again, so kind of keeping that first undrafted rookie receiver since 2019 to make it. Inject! Appreciate you. So that's super duper exciting. Extending their streak to 19 consecutive years. I was wondering what the streak was at this point. So 19 years on the week 1 roster, having at least one undrafted rookie. Love that. Wes, of course, writing about Whelan. Yeah, so again, Eric Stokes is going to miss the first 4 games of the season. It was announced that, I know this has nothing to do with the Packers, but in a similar light, Von Miller for the Bills, he's going to be on the PUP list to start the season, so that means he is not going to be able to perform or play for at least 4 games. So those first 4 games, it ain't happening. So long snapper, first time since 2016, not going to be on the initial 53. I know that people wanted potentially Albert O to make the roster, that the Packers give him a look, because it said that the Broncos were waiving him, but it turns out they didn't. They actually traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles. So, yeah, that was a little bit of a shift there. It did what it took. Packers need to trade for Budda Baker. I don't think they're going to. I mean, it seems like the Packers, just taking a look at this entire roster, the thing that really speaks to me is how young they are, right? And this is at placeholder, punter, kicker, safety unit, tight end. They're going young. And this is a very, very young team. It's not the most experienced team, but I think there's just a ton of potential there. And I don't think they're going to bring in any big names or make some big trades because they want to see and evaluate the team that they have on the field. We don't know how the Packers are going to do this year. I think they're going to be competitive, but we also are evaluating our quarterback. So I think because the Packers are not planning necessarily to make a prolonged playoff push this year, they're not going out and getting some of those big guys. So Scott with a tenner. Give me all linebackers. Just stop the run, please, God. Hail Mods, hail Jim B. Go Pack, go. Scott Merriman, you beautiful son of a gun. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you. They announced the practice squad. So at 12 p.m., so noon tomorrow Eastern, they will start going. They can sign guys to the P squad if they make it through waivers. Again, the Packers, I believe, are number 15 on the waiver wire. So if they want anybody, they have 14 teams ahead of them. Pineapple at a $5. If we were to trade for anyone, who would it be, or who would you want it to be? Ooh. Okay. Right now, honestly, I know Budda Baker is on there, but the Packers I just don't think are going to make that trade for him. He's going to be too expensive anyway. I would have liked to get some more safety help, but at this point, I think the Packers every single move that the Packers have made this offseason and this preseason have been indicative of we're just going to figure it out. In which, for example, when I was talking to Mark Murphy, we were having this conversation and basically saying like, hey, is this year we're just seeing how it goes? He's like, yeah, we're pretty much seeing how it goes. You're evaluating Jordan Love. That's going to be the most important thing. And then if they're able to succeed and do well with holes, for example, like at safety, maybe tight end room needs to get cleaned up a little bit, then they can evaluate and potentially add to that next year where they have a little bit more cap space and more flexibility, and they know if Jordan Love is the guy or not. So I would not be surprised at all if the Packers kind of just don't make any big splashes or trades, because they're just kind of letting it rock. They're really, really tight on money right now. And yeah, I don't see them bringing in anybody because I don't think they need to. Because for the Packers, it's kind of like a win-win, right? If they're saying, all right, if this team is able to perform and do well, and hey, maybe they're able to win like 8, 9, 10 games or even get like a wild card spot, that's going to tell them, oh crap, like we have something here because our core guys are so young. That is something that you build a team around, right? So because of that, then they can go next year and they can kind of add all the flair and all that great stuff. Jake, would a Tedrick expect any content with Kurt during the season? Go Pack, go. Kurt and I have been talking every now and then. He also has a bunch of other shows and stuff that he's doing, but I'm sure we'll connect throughout the season at some point. So yeah, I'm not too surprised. But yeah, I'm really happy. The big ones that stand out to me are Emmanuel Wilson making the team. I'm super duper excited about that. I think it's just the guy earned it. You know, he earned it the way that he ran. I mean, it stood out almost immediately. And with AJ Dillon, you know, kind of had a bit of a down year last year and, you know, hasn't really lived up to some people's potential. I think, you know, this is going to kind of put a spotlight of like, all right, let's see if we have our running backs of the future too. Because AJ Dillon was supposed to be part of that conversation. You know, Aaron Jones took a pay cut to stay here in Green Bay, and that was very kind of him. And he's still one of the most dynamic. I think he's a top 10 running back. Absolutely. But, you know, I don't know how long Aaron Jones is going to be playing football. So we need to kind of figure out like who that guy is going to be next, you know, rolling up. But then again, you see how the market treats wide receivers, running backs. So I kind of don't care. So, I mean, that's the other news too. That's not really Packers stuff, but Jonathan Taylor, not traded. So Jonathan Taylor, not only not traded, but he is also going to begin this season on the PUP list. So he is not going to be able to play for the first 4 weeks. So they're not going to be able to trade him. I think it's until I think it's October 21st. It's something like that. It's like late-ish October that they're not able to trade him. So interesting times here. Interesting times. But yeah, I'm super happy for Emmanuel Wilson. That's super. It's a good story. Why would if I were who on the Jets could we trade Bakhtiari for? Maybe a safety and a pick. We could clear cap space that way. Plus, he's an injury risk and pricey. Yeah, I don't see them trading. They're not going to trade David Bakhtiari. Not this year. I think David Bakhtiari is gone next season. I've been saying that for a bit now. I know that Ben Kurt went on Kay Adams and kind of threw it into the rumor mill and was like, hey, yeah, no, I think he's going to be on the move. And it makes sense. It just doesn't make sense for this year. They have him now. And then so if you look at his contract next year, it just makes a lot more sense to cut him there. LT, hold on 1 second. I'll answer that. So if you take a look at Dave Bakhtiari's contract, 1 second as I get this up here. So if you look at his contract, okay. So there was that potential that they were going to get rid of him, right? Because they had it out, but they're not going to. So this one, it's not terrible, right? The cap hit is, it's big, but it's not god awful. But it makes the most sense. You have a young quarterback, and David Bakhtiari, when he plays, is phenomenal. He played last year and was fantastic in every single game that he played. So I think you keep him there for Love's first full season as a starter. You're likely going to have 2 first-round picks next year, and then you could potentially draft another left tackle, plus we have guys that could move over theoretically. But I think this is the year in 2024, you potentially get rid of that big contract. If the Jets don't win a Super Bowl this year, I imagine they're going to want to address offensive line. I think Dave Bakhtiari kind of wants to go back and play with Aaron Rodgers. You know, Rodgers wants to play with David, so I imagine that next year Bakhtiari will be over potentially with the Jets. And from there, I don't even know what you trade for him. That's the thing. Because if we're getting their first round pick next year, then you're saying, okay, maybe we're getting a first round pick like the following year, but you're not able to really capitalize on it, next year and get a ton of value. But I would imagine next year. So I would imagine it's just draft picks that the Packers are going to trade him for if they go that route. L2 to our Luke Musgrave. Yeah, so I've been talking about Luke Musgrave a bunch, especially when it talks to like Q&As and things like that. I definitely have tried to temper people's expectations about rookie tight ends coming into the NFL because you see it over and over and over again. You see it with Kyle Pitts. You see it with TJ Hawkinson. You see it with basically Noah Fant. You see any of these first rounder guys who are brought in, and I know Luke Musgrave's not a first rounder, but these guys who have like a lot of hype, oh my goodness, they're going to be so good. Transitioning from college to the NFL as a tight end is incredibly difficult, just like it is to be a corner and, of course, a quarterback. But tight end is so difficult because you have so many jobs. You have to learn pass protection. You have to do run protection. You also have to learn routes as well. So all of that together, you usually don't see rookie tight ends make like a huge splash. However, and I don't expect one from like Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft, I don't expect one. I said Josiah DeGuara like months ago. I was like, he's probably going to get an uptick because Jordan Love and him are friends. Every single time Jordan Love had been on the field previous to this preseason, he's been looking for Josiah DeGuara. He gets targets, and Rodgers kind of just stopped throwing to him. Now, in terms of Luke Musgrave, the way that LaFleur has been utilizing him in practice in the preseason, I mentioned it before, like with end arounds, you're having him move all over the field. He's running a ton of different routes. I think that it's kind of just really interesting. They like want him to be a major factor early. So I think it's one of two things. It's one, they realize, oh crap, we drafted Luke Musgrave and he looks really, really good. Like he's surprising, like coaching staff, like how good he is coming out of college. That's one. The other thing is that they just really want to utilize tight ends. And they're like, listen, maybe he's not there just yet, but we need to be able to utilize him and get him involved really, really early and kind of like put this weight on him because the Packers haven't had a true weapon tight end in years. So I think, Luke Musgrave is going to fit that bill. I've drafted him a lot in a lot of fantasy leagues because I think he's going to get a lot of targets, but we're going to kind of see that first month of the season, how much he's going to get involved. But yeah, he might surprise people. Taylor at tenor. Excited for Emmanuel and Carrington on the roster. They made the biggest impression on me. Also not shocked Josh Myers made the roster, but I'm comfortable with Zach Tom taking center if need be. Yeah, that's the bit. See, so a lot of people are worried about safeties, for example. And like safety 100% is probably our biggest hole right now on the Packers. However, you also look at special teams. Like, let's be very honest. Safety, they really didn't address at all, right? They got some really late round picks, brought in some free agents, and that's about it. They really didn't address it. Then you have our special teams unit, in which they are going with a rookie place kicker. They are going with a rookie punter. They're going with a rookie holder, which is also the punter. It seems like, again, they're just seeing how it goes. Are there places where the Packers can improve? 1,000,000%. I just don't think they're going to, unless like maybe later in the season, like they go on a run and they're like, oh crap, like maybe we have something really special here. But again, I really think it's more of an evaluation year for a lot of guys, especially number 10, who's going to be behind center. But the point that I'm making is that Josh Myers has had a rough camp. Almost like every practice, the guy is not snapping well. It's been mistimed snaps. Zach Tom has come in a bunch and played center. And if there's one position that I feel like they shouldn't skimp out on or like just see what happens, it is center, because that could like destroy Jordan Love like before he even gets started. So in my humble opinion, until Josh Myers like is going to clean stuff up, you put Zach Tom there at center and let it rock. And I know that people are gonna be like, could have had Creed Humphrey. Yeah, I know. But yeah, we're gonna you get what you get. You don't get upset. But to the point is, like, Josh Myers, he's on the team. I just hope that the Packers don't pull a special teams and say like, hey, let's just leave it until it's a significant problem and just start losing us games. So that's what I would say. But yeah, we'll see kind of what the starting lineup is heading into week 1 against the Bears, because yeah, that's honestly like where my biggest point of concern is, because if they can't get snaps off, it's no bueno. So that one I want them to get resolved sooner rather than later, because if they don't, then they're going to be in trouble. So that's my humble opinion. So I'm curious to see what LaFleur does, because it seems like they're not going to mind just letting the young guys play. But with Myers, it seems like, oh no, this is a problem. Let's put Zach Dom out there. So that's it. So Dave Bakhtiari, no, I think he'll be worth like a good amount. He'll definitely be worth a good amount. It just depends. It just depends on, what kind of season he has, and then, also how in need the Jets are. And I think there's gonna be a pretty big need for him. Andrew, would the defense be good? Asking for fantasy reasons. That's a great question, Andrew. I've been wondering that for almost a decade now. Yeah, it's almost a decade. There's been some seasons where I'm like, oh, we got a defense, woohoo! But then it doesn't really turn out. I think let me put it this way: the investment of draft capital that has been made in the defense is insane. Insane. Do we have the right defensive coordinator? Jury's out on that. And then on top of that, I mean, Rashawn Gary, if he's like starting week 1 and like coming in like a wrecking ball, like I'm super excited. If Rashawn Gary's ready to go like week 1, I think this defense could be good. Like, yeah, I think that they definitely could be good. And we've been expecting them to be for quite some time. But are they going to be able to stop the run? Are they going to, is that safety unit going to get us in trouble? So those are the questions. I wouldn't say for fantasy purpose they are a slam dunk, but they might be a nice late pick to pick up in case they wind up clicking. So, Dean with a fire. Dan Wheel is the first Irishman in 40 years to make an NFL roster. Very proud of him over here. I know, I heard. I love it. I love it. Wheeling and dealing, baby. Wheeling and dealing. Yeah. Now there's some excitement there. I know I got hit up from a few Irish fans about how excited they were. So let's go, baby. Let's frickin' frack and go. No, I don't think the Vikings defense will be the best. But yeah, we keep switching DCs. I know. But like, look who we got. We got Dom Capers, who was good for a time and then just overstayed his welcome. He shouldn't have been there anymore after that. But after that, you got Mike Pettin. You got freaking Joe Barry. Like, it ain't the cream of the crop here. Dune 2 got delayed. I know it did. I know. Yeah, Benny Sapp. Yeah, I was just talking about that. Yeah, Benny Sapp got cut. He basically just won the game for us against the Seahawks, but that's the way it is in the NFL. That's the way that it is. So, I mean, we gonna see. I'm excited about the corner group though. I think the corner group is like super duper duper good. I just want Eric Stokes' speed to get back on there. Some other stuff real quick, just to kind of be super weird. So yeah, the Patriots, they cut Bailey Zappi, but they also cut Cunningham as well. So right now, they only have one QB on the roster, and that is Mac Jones. So I don't really know what the thought is. Yes, Carrington Valentine made it, yes. I don't know what the thought is there, but interesting. Of course, Jonathan Taylor did not get traded. He's also on the PUP list, so he's not going to play for the first 4 weeks. Alfonso, too bad for Isaac Alarcon, cut by the Cowboys. Yeah, there were some cuts. I mean, like Alberto was originally supposed to get cut, but he wound up getting traded. Friend of the show, Jay Sternberger. This happened a little while ago. Like, this happened a few days ago. Got cut by the Bills. He wasn't going to be there, so that's it. Myles Gaskin from the Dolphins. That was a big one. I know that there's some people that were big fans of him for quite some time. But yeah, Bailey Zappi, Trace McSorley, all cut. Cunningham cut by the Patriots as well. Just a weird. I don't know what they're doing, but it's Bill Belichick. The Ravens, they cut Melvin Gordon. That was kind of a big-ish one. Trevor Siemian got cut by the Bengals. I saw a few of those. Kellen Mond cut by the Browns, of course. We still don't know who the Cardinals are going to start week 1 because they want to maintain strategic advantage. Because, yeah, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing. But yeah, I don't know, man. I have no idea what the hell the Cardinals are doing. I don't know what they think they're doing, but yeah, that's going to be fun to watch, I guess, throughout the the season. But yeah, those are some of the big ones, aka tanking. Yeah, that's kind of what everybody is alluding to, and it seems like that's the case. Yeah, Bailey Zappi, I have to imagine he's gonna get picked up. Oh, the other one, for the Jaguars, they cut Nathan Rourke, that guy who made arguably the best play in the preseason. Yeah, they cut him, so I'm curious to see if he's gonna eventually find himself on a P squad somewhere. Or hell, maybe like the Patriots pick him up because they only have one right now. Taylor, hoping Campbell's ready for my week 1. You and me both. KK, turn the words of the tree, the perfectly sculpted tank. Hollow to fire. Bucks cut Cade Warner, Kirk Warner's son. I want him back on the P squad. Yeah, listen, it happens. It happens. But again, a lot of these guys can return. These are just the initial 53. Like, the Packers aren't going to roll out week 1 without a long snapper. We're bringing back Matt tomorrow, so that's there. DiNucci got cut. Yeah, I know. Some sad days for the Denver Broncos and Brandon Perner over there. They cut DiNucci. Alberto got traded to the Eagles. He was originally going to get waived, but then the Eagles came in and made a trade for him. I know. Yeah, they cut Zappi. They cut Cunningham. Right now, currently, again, this will change in the coming days, they only got one QB on the roster, and that is Mac Jones. And that is it. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's interesting times out here, folks. It's interesting times. Yeah, the other one, the other team that was kind of getting talked about a lot were the Saints. Matt, that was wild. The Patriots cut every QB. Yeah, except Mac Jones. Alex Leatherwood, I know, got cut a few days ago. Former first rounder. But, yeah, Dwayne McBride, N'Keal Harry, they got cut from the Vikings. They're both gone. Injector, Denver Broncos, more like the Denver Saints now. I know, they got Will Lutz, right, in that trade. Reuniting, and it feels so good. Jayhawk, almost a year official member. Watch out for Justin Ross on the Chiefs. Yes, Justin Ross making the 53-man roster. Do you know how many fantasy leagues I wound up drafting him in? And I was like, oh yeah, no, he's going to be there at the end. Because it's Patrick Mahomes, it's Andy Reid, and, you know, Justin Ross has been making some insane catches. If he can actually, like, stay healthy and actually be good, the rest of the league, it's just be like, guys, like we told you, somebody should have picked him up just so he didn't go to the Chiefs. Beast with a fire, so excited. Time going to my first Packers game on the 17th. He live streaming all primetime games again this year. Hell yeah, Beast. Enjoy it. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yeah, I'll be streaming every Packers game, every primetime game once again. Why, Otura? Hoping we not take tomato toaster baths. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. And again, it's an evaluation year. It's an evaluation year. You just hope that, you know, everything starts clicking early. And the only thing I need to see out of this season is progress. Is Jordan Love the guy? Is the defense real? All those things. Bruce, can't believe they cut DiNucci. I know, the DiNucci. The DiNucci. Oh, the elite Thursday Night Football streams. Oh, they're going to be something. They are going to be something, my friend. Yes, yes, yes. So, all I'm going to say is, please, God, don't be bad. But I know they can flex games out now, though, so that could make a bit of difference. Alfonso Tour, Perno with Vain Illusion for the Will Lutz trade. It's true. It is accurate. It is accurate. Let's see. Hold on. Tuno. Yes, we did. You're talking about, hold on one second. Let me just, yeah, Brenton Cox Jr. It was announced a few hours ago that he did make the roster. Yeah, he made the initial 53. Robbie the Turk, I got CMC in fantasy with the Taylor news. Yeah, because Jonathan Taylor, I mean, I'm talking about fantasy if you're paying attention to that. He's not playing for the first 4 weeks. So, yeah, that's it. That's it. So I don't know what you're doing with him. And again, it doesn't look like he wants to play for the Colts, and he's not going to be able to get traded until late October. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Brenton Cox Jr. had a really nice preseason. I'm excited for him, too. I'm really excited for that pass rush. That D-line, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see how Emmanuel Wilson is going to be utilized, how much he's going to be utilized. And, like, here's a really hot take, potentially. If A.J. Dillon, like, I don't know, like, if he doesn't perform that well in, like, midway through the season, I wouldn't be surprised if Wilson starts getting more carries. Kip with a fiver. Hey, Tom, hope you're good. By the way, when the Packcast fantasy draft start? Yeah, it'll be next week. It's always next Monday, is usually when they start. So, yeah, I just have to, I'm in the midst. I literally yesterday wrote out 8 videos. So I'm still in the midst of recording, but yeah, it'll probably be set up by the end of this week. But yeah, I usually do it on Monday. That's usually the, I wait until everything's finalized. The initial rosters are done, all that stuff, injuries, that's it. Ghost, what a 10. I'll be attending 2 Viking away games this season. Week 4 going to the Panthers and week 9 going to the Falcons. There you go. Hey, you enjoy that Falcon Stadium. That Falcon Stadium is freaking fracking awesome. So, it was beautiful. It was freaking fracking beautiful. Damn it, Chris! I had a meetup and everything, my friend. I had the meetup right outside of Lambeau. It's all right, buddy. We'll get it. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, again, PUP list, it did not get traded, cannot play for the first 4 weeks of the season right now. So, that's the really big news. So, yeah. Also, Chris Jones is on the reserve did not report list. He does not count towards the initial 53. So there's your Chris Jones update for Chiefs fans who've been looking for it. So it seems like the holdout is going to continue to go. I mean, he has come out and said that he will hold out until week 8, that he can afford it. So, just saying. Chris, it was I put it on everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube community tab. Melissa, New England solely relying on Mac Jones is certainly a choice. It is a choice. Rachel would have fired not only Ross now on our roster. For the first time in Andy Reid's tenure, we are running with 7 wide receivers. Get ready for all the throws. Yeah, it's going to be all the throws. Yeah. If Justin Ross is freaking good, it's going to be the biggest I told you so. From everybody in the league, though. Everybody in the league was like, no, it's not going to go well. It's going to be a problem. So, we know. We knew, but here we go. Just here we go. That's it. But yeah, I'm excited. I think the pass rush should be really good. Defensive line should be really good. And you just got to hope that Rashawn Gary's like ready to go week 1, which honestly, the way that he's been looking just in camp, it looks like he's feeling okay. Because he legitimately, on the off, I mean, you saw the videos, like the offseason, he was a monster. Was like, I trained. Well, like those cute little like videos that they made like on Twitter, and they were like, oh, what'd you do this off season? And they were just like, oh, I went to spend time with my family, and oh, I went to Cape Cod. And they asked Rashawn Gary, he's like, I trained. And then he walks away. So that's what we're working with Rashawn Gary. And it's a contract year. It's a big year for Rashawn Gary. He performs this year. He's going to get a pretty damn big contract. So I'm super excited. Yeah, Debo, I know I was saying that before when we were going through the initial 53. Debo, it was an interesting cut. But I think because Malik Heath just really, really stepped up, they couldn't justify it. Because Heath did everything that you wanted. Everything. The guy freaking blocked, which for Matt LaFleur, he's just like, oh my lucky stars, because loves blocking wide receivers. So loved that. On top of that, the guy can catch. He was making insane contested catches, whether it was from Jordan Love or whether it was from Sean Clifford. So that's it. Bobby, would it ever consider doing wrestling content? I've done it a couple times. Yeah, I just watch it I just watch it for me, like as a personal thing. Don't want to monetize every single one of my hobbies. I already monetized this one. So that's it. So that's all. We'll see. Yeah, he'll save a game or two for the pack on our end. Oh, absolutely. 1,000,000%. Rasul Douglas is the one who usually trolls. Yeah, he's the one that, he's the guy who's usually doing that one. He'll take just about everything and be like, oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers gave me his phone, like that kind of stuff. So, just saying. It's going to be crazy. But again, this is just the initial 53-man roster. You're going to start to see guys signed by the P Squad around noon tomorrow as they go through the waiver process. Beast, would a firework contender from last year will have the biggest regression, and which team will have the biggest progression? I think the Steelers, Falcons, Panthers have a really good shot of being like, no, I'd say just about anyone in the NFC South except the Buccaneers. I think the Saints could be one too. I think those are your teams that are going to be like, hey, you're going to see some pretty big progressions. Regressions, there's a couple here. Also, you couldn't throw the Browns in there. I have no idea what the hell just Sean Watson is going to do. Regressions, I mean, the Vikings could be on that list from going to the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs this year. They could definitely be on that list. Who's another team that can regress to the point where it's like, ooh, Ravens too can progress, I think, if they could just stay healthy. If they could stay healthy, which is a big if. Trying to think of other teams that are like probably not going to be as good. I think the Eagles will regress a little bit, but not to the point. Like, I think they'll still win the division. I think they're going to be the best team in the NFC still. 49ers, depending on what happens with QB, that could be the case too. I don't think the Patriots are going to be a great team. So, yeah. KK, fire interview. Rashawn, what'd you do over the summer, Rashawn? I tried. Rashawn goes home and unzips his suit to reveal Son Goku underneath. Yes. Now that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about. Beast! Appreciate you. Welcome to the posse. Melissa would fire. Just will Douglas break the Cardinals organization? They haven't been the same since. Yeah, I think he might have. Not only did he get snatched off the P squad like Devondre Campbell, but then he also intercepted AJ Green and ended their undefeated streak when we had no wide receiver. So, yeah, he might have. Eric would fire, heading from CNY to Wisconsin this weekend. Want me to grab some Spotted Cow? Do it up. Drink it for yourself. Drink all the Spotted Cow for yourself. You enjoy it. You enjoy it. Enjoy it. I know, okay, I know you meant trained. Yeah, no, I got you. I pick up your throwing down. Thoughts on the Seahawks? I think they're going to be competitive. I don't think they're going to, like, Geno's going to have the same exact year that he did last year. It might be a little bit less, but I think they're going to be fine. I think they have so much talent on their roster that, like, if their running backs are healthy, which is, like, the biggest if in the history of the world, they could be good. Inject when I'm finished! Boop! For the kitty. People keep writing us off so much, which I don't get. Our defense is top 4 back half of the season. Our offense has only gotten better. Easy schedule and weak division. I think we will be like the Vikings last year, but actually win a playoff game. Yeah, the Saints the NFC South inject. The truth of it is that they just don't get pressed because nobody cares. And what I mean by that is, like, the Buccaneers, right? They got Tom Brady. Everyone was like, oh, it's Tom Brady. The Saints, they had Drew Brees. Once those two superstars leave, they kind of, like, the national media just doesn't care anymore. So on paper, the Saints got better, right? They got Derek Carr, who is an upgrade from what they had at quarterback last year. You know, Alvin Kamara only missing 3 games, and in those 3 games, in those interim, you got Jamal Williams. Michael Thomas seems to be healthy, which, again, take that with a grain of salt because you never know how healthy he's actually going to be. But the point that I'm making is, like, the Saints should win that division by far. I think you have some, like, upstarts, and with the Panthers, they could be good. You could have the Falcons who can make some surprises. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, they've been favored to win the division all offseason. I just don't think they're going to get talked about a lot because I don't think that they're going to go far in the playoffs if they make it there, and I assume they're going to. Because I think, but then again, I mean, if their defense is actually really good, like if their defense is really good, that could make a difference. You know, can they beat like the Philadelphia Eagles? I don't know. That's going to be the question. Cody, Farage, like all in. We're going till we got a winner in effing Wembley. That main event was phenomenal. I thought it was a very good pay-per-view. I don't think it was their best, but I think it was a very good pay-per-view. That main event was it was great. Hot take here. Will Ospreay is one of the best wrestlers in the world. I love Chris Jericho. I'm always gonna love Chris Jericho. I don't know. It wasn't a bad match. It was a good match. I would have liked a different opponent in there. So, yeah. That's all. Inject fire. Glad we're not getting attention. We always do our events. We are. 2006, 2017. Listen, Packers weren't getting a lot of attention, and then Jordan Love came out. So, just saying. Stephanie, Atura missed the news. Who gave you wide receiver 1 contract? Yeah, you know, I got a lot of calls, a lot of interest, a lot of nibbles. But they're talking about budget cuts, and they're talking about, cap space and all that great stuff. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if I wound up getting a call tomorrow, you know, once waivers go through. Beast with Tura, I like this cheese slice by my name. It's beautiful. It looks beautiful. It does look good. Yeah, Olave's going to be a monster. Olave's going to be a monster. Because, like, he was amazing last year, and I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback. Not amazing, but he's a good quarterback. So, it's better than what they had last year. So, yeah, they'll be better, I think. And again, the Saints should win that division. They also do not have a bad schedule. Trust me, I know. I'm going to record their stuff right after I record the East today. But, yeah, I have the Saints having the biggest upside. They have the biggest ceiling in the division. Because, they have some they have some tough games, maybe. Like, they have the Jaguars, right? Maybe the Titans will give them some problems. The Lions, Packers, Vikings, maybe Giants. But yeah, I think they'll be fine. Starting Boy, do I take AEW more seriously if it wasn't a circus? It is a circus. That's the thing, though. Their wrestling never disappoints for the most part. Like, their storytelling can be better. Their production definitely needs to get better. Like, I don't know if it was just the beginning of that pay-per-view, but their miking up of the audience was so horrifically bad. But their wrestling always slaps. Cody with a tour. FTR, yes, Young Bucks is a go-to match. Those 2.999 kickouts, yes. Yes. I mean, they're two of the best tag teams in the world. So it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, they changed it around, I think, like halfway point because it was just not great. It was just not good. Sternberger right now, he got waived by the Bills, so I don't think he's currently not on a team, but maybe he'll find his way onto a P squad, maybe tomorrow, potentially. So how do I feel about the Titans? Well, I already did their things. I wrote it down. I have them having a ceiling of 10-7. So I have them as the second highest ceiling in the AFC South. Their floor is low. Their floor, I have them at 6-11, but their ceiling, I have at 10-7. It's just there's lots of question marks about them right now. Scott Merriman, what a tenor. How do you think we perform against the division? Also, what is your song of the summer? Also, hail Luco Pecco. Ooh, good questions here. How do you think we perform against the division? I think we're gonna split with. If we split with the Lions, that's a win. Because let's be very honest, the Lions been kicking our ass. So we split with the Lions, that's a win. I think we split with the Vikings, we usually do. And the Bears, I think there's a shot that we sweep the Bears. I think there is. I think there is. Song of the summer? I don't know about song of the summer, but like, listen, the new Hozier album came out, and I was rocking and rolling to that. So it's been real good. Real good. Just saying. Who we are? Great song. Great song. Just saying. But, yeah. No, I'm going to have the NFC North predictions. We finally started it. I know it came out super late. 30-30 pushed back to everything. They pushed back absolutely everything. But I spent 4 hours literally doing research and writing out 8 videos. NFC North one came out today. They're going to come out every single day until I think a couple days before the season. So we got 7 videos left to do there. I got a lot of stuff to do. And of course, there's a coach finale as well. There's a lot to be going. But yeah, folks, listen, next week we got frickin' frackin' football. We got frickin' frackin' football next week. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So don't you worry. Don't you worry. But I am going to go record those videos right now. Birch! Got Luke. Hail the merriest of men. It's a true story. It's a true story. True story. Tad would fire new man is way harder without a Hall of Fame QB. Yes. Oh, that's what I want to do. That's going to be the announcement right now. So, because of 30-30, because things, everything got pushed back. One of the things that got pushed back, of course, was Madden Monday. And in 2 weeks' time, there's going to be football on Monday nights. And so, because of that, next Monday, going to be having a long-ass stream in which I will play. I'm going to buy the new Madden, which I hear is not great. I'm going to buy the new Madden. I'm going to set it all up, and I will frackin' play an entire franchise as the Packers. I'll go through an entire season, and we'll see if we can get to the Super Bowl. Okay? The first time I'll play it is live on air. We'll do that next Monday. So Madden Monday, we'll be back. One last time. Chris, draft night, who should I target first, running back or wide receiver? Completely depends on when you're drafted. If you're drafting first, you get Justin Jefferson. You drafting after that, then you start looking at some running backs, in my opinion. I've drafted Chubb, CMC, just because there's more options at wide receiver than there are running backs. Like, there's more elite wide receivers than there are, like, really good running backs right now. That's that, but I'm also old school with that. So, but yeah, that's where I'm going there. Sapio Tours is basically a Coach Season 1 remake. Oh yeah, of course. Also, Coach Finale should be out on Sunday. I say should because, good God, it's going to kill me to record it. Giggity to fire. Big surprise takeaways from the Packers this preseason. Love seeing real connection between Love and Watson on those fades. Yeah. The biggest surprises, I mean, Malik Heath emerging, Emmanuel Wilson emerging as a stud, and Carrington Valentine. I would say like those are like the biggest surprises. I would say the other surprise is how often how they're utilizing Luke Musgrave, how comfortable Love looks in the pocket. All that stuff is really good, and I think the way that the offensive line has performed this preseason, if we can have one of the best offensive lines and we can get like our center situation sorted out, that's going to help Love progress a lot, or at least give him an opportunity to be like, hey, like, go out and show what you can do. So, we're going to see. We're going to see, Bay. We're going to see. Tom question. Chamas. Kill. Oh my God, what are they? Wrong spelling. It's fine. Killed Tom in the second season. Yep. And Tom came out of crawl space in the next episode. No, he didn't. No. Season 2, he didn't come back until the finale. Just like Junior. So, yeah. Again, they could come out, but you also know why Tom didn't come out, because he was hanging out with Linda. That was from this past season. Surprise cut. The biggest surprise cut, Pat O'Donnell was a little bit of a shocking one. I mean, it makes sense with what the Packers have been doing because they want to go with youth. The other one that like actually surprised me was probably Patrick Taylor. Just because of how good of a special teamer he is. So, yeah, I think that's, I'll say that one, but we'll see. Yeah, Ballantyne's another one. I know that I didn't have him making mine, but he was making some noise in camp. He was, but not enough. But again, this is just the initial 53-man roster, folks. Tomorrow, P Squad time. But folks, I appreciate you. I got to go record because I'm going to try to knock out as many of these videos as I can because I really got to start focusing on the coach. But I appreciate you. I'll see you real soon. Tomorrow night, we'll be doing members Q&A. I don't know what time yet. It's probably going to be around like 6:30, 7 o'clock Eastern, somewhere around there. So yeah, I will be streaming tomorrow night for members Q&A for YouTube members and Patreon members. So I will see you all real soon. But folks, thank you so much for watching. We're this close from frackin' football. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack, go. Let's go, baby! It's football season.